where I get super excited about what you're about to tell us, is this longitudinal data collection that you've had. All of these different states for people that ended up with leukemia, didn't end up with leukemia, had MDS, stated MDS, didn't have MDS, and how you can see and appreciate AI and its basic principles of being able to do many, many things in parallel or larger things and uncover, basically patterns. Tell me if I'm wrong or right, because I am all ears.
You're completely right, of course. Look, right now, the only way we are detecting early cancer is monitoring or screening for 5 common cancers, PSA for prostate, pap smears for cervical, you do colonoscopy for colon, you do mammography for breast cancer, and you do CT scans of the chest for people at high risk for lung cancer. So just to put things into perspective, we detect 9 million positive tests out of these 5 screening measures. But a positive mammogram doesn't mean there's necessarily cancer. It could be a cyst. So then you go in and make an actual pathologic diagnosis, and out of 9 million, 8.8 million are false positives. So we are spending in this country $34 billion a year to detect 204,000 cancers early. Those are the real statistics. Nobody wants to think about it. It galls me to think that in this day and age of predictive analytics of AI and Fitbits and Aura rings and Apple watches and all these things, we are actually depending on a GI person to go in once every 2-3 years into the gut and look for a tumor by colonoscopy. That really is so counterintuitive that it's shocking when you really sit back and start thinking about things. The problem, Sanjay, is we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. Because I have been trained in this way to look at things, that's the only way everything will appear to me. And I keep saying that being an outsider helps me all the time. So here is my solution for all of this. I'm going to hold this up. This is the cure for cancer. But the cure is not in the syringe. The cure is in the needle. What is in this needle? In this needle is a stent. Like a stent that is made of cellophane or something very thin film, just like a coronary stent or your stent you put in the kidneys or in the bile duct. This contains a stent, which using the syringe can be injected into a blood vessel. It goes there, unfurls itself and sits there forever. And what does it have? It has these electronic circuitry on it and a built-in little chip. The electronic circuitry will produce a current in the blood vessel so that anything which passes through now causes impedance of the current, which is picked up and recorded on the little chip in the computer that's right on this inside that stent. Okay, this is not a pie in the sky. This is not something I've imagined. I'm holding this up because biomedical engineers Sam Sear and Ken Shepard at Columbia University, with whom I've been working for 10 years, have actually made this stent. We call it the Sentinel, combination of a stent and sentinel. And the idea is that this kind of an implantable device can be inserted at birth and can continuously monitor for the appearance of abnormal cells, because cancer cells are large. If it detects a large cell, there'll be a larger electronic signal, and your app on the phone will get the message. And then with machine learning, these things are going to get so much better with time. Even that it will be able to tell the difference between what's real and what's not very quickly. It's already happening as we insert these kinds of stents into pigs. But let me just give you one example. Grail is a company that is dedicated to early cancer detection. And the way they're doing it is through liquid biopsies, even to find solid cancers, which means how do you do that? Well, a solid cancer, let's say a cancer in the pancreas or in the liver or lungs or breast, the cells of that cancer, as they die, will shed pieces of DNA into the blood. And in the beginning, people started to note that if that tiny piece of DNA has a mutation that is associated with pancreatic cancer, then that means the person could be having a pancreatic cancer. But the way Grail started to train its AI platform by feeding it gazillions of data bytes, you know what started happening now, Sanjay? That the machine learning is so supreme that a mutation is not even needed anymore. The AI platform has trained itself to simply look at a tiny piece of DNA and say, hey, this is coming from a normal cell. This is coming from a malignant cell. You have no idea what the machine has learned. On what basis is it doing? Is it on the basis of the number of methyl markers, methylation sites that it is deciding? But now they don't care about finding a mutated piece of DNA. So I'm saying to you that the same way, actually using the current technologies, we can do so much better by trying to find cancer at not stage 1. Even Grail is trying to find earliest is stage 1. I'm saying no. Stage 1 is too late. Why? Because you already need those Paleolithic cavemen kind of measures of slash, poison, and burn. Those things are not patient-friendly or compassionate treatments. And let's stop giving ourselves gold medals for using those on poor patients. It's just the most horrendous thing you can do to people. It's like taking a baseball bat and hitting a dog with it to get rid of its fleas. That's how horrible these treatments are. But even stage 1 requires one or the other. So my point is, stage 1 is too late. I want to find the first cell stage. What is the first cell stage? That's very different than stage 1. A stage is set because of chronic inflammation, toxins, infections, whatever is going on in some organ. A stage is set for the first cell to arise. We want to detect cancer even prior to the first cell, at that first cell stage. And that is only possible by continuous monitoring, by treating the human body as a machine and screening it 24/7 from birth to death.